Sorry, my kids are just really, it's Friday. And it's just Shouty Friday.
It's Shouty Friday. So welcome back to the pod, raising hell to
Heaven.
woo woo. So another episode. Today we are talking about breaking cycles and breaking negative patterns. And it is hard, like literally very hard. I have been out of the cycle of my abusive, toxic tendencies for, gosh, what am I going on? 4 or 5 years now, and I still found myself almost dripping back in.
Drawn to the familiar.
Drawn to the familiar yet again, and I didn't see it coming. It hit me like a truck. And to be fair, right, like you don't know until you're in the deep end most of the time, right? Like someone doesn't walk up to you and be like, hey, I'm the worst thing for you. Like, let's hang, you know, like. And it's different for everyone, right? So what's going to be tempting for her and isn't good for her is going to be different than me. So my attachment style. So I actually, shockingly, this is the second time I've said this today because I just can't even believe it, tested as securely attached, but my tendency, my one little box was anxious attached, which is usually what the result I will get because my negative attachment style is anxiously attached. And the worst possible thing for an anxiously attached person is an avoidant. That to be all being said, it's different for everyone, right? So whatever someone's familiar toxic thing is going to be just stares right deep into your soul.
This is how you want your lover to look at you.
Yeah, just like look at
Back to it.
She can't escape. There's just dogs everywhere, kids everywhere.
But
it's beautiful.
no
beautiful thing.
Boys.
No, thank God.
This is a woman house.
It's an all-girl house. Except for Jacques, the dog.
And Sanchez.
The fat little old dog. And Sanchez, who just drives me nuts. Chihuahuas, man. No offense. He looked right at me.
Because he bites. He doesn't like you moving him. Lucy,
well,
it's enough now. Sit.
He comes up and sits next to me, or stands on me, or sits on me, but then like bites me. I don't know. He's very confused, like most men. Anyways, breaking. You will find that no matter how much you heal, there's those things that there's a reason that these tendencies, right, and these habits and these patterns are your patterns. And so you have to be ready and be prepared when you find yourself falling back into old patterns. And I don't think I do think it gets easier. But
I think
always
it gets
hard.
easier with awareness, but I think you've got to address like what are your patterns from childhood? Like what were your parents like? What was that relationship like? You don't have to have had bad parents, like at all. Like it's not about that. Like I'm a parent as well, so I'm thinking about that all the time.
Yeah.
But if you look at how you related to your parents, how they related to you, and what your pattern became when you related to another. Mm-hmm. That's what we're trying to unpack and what we're trying to, to learn. So like when we get stuck in these toxic cycles that are bad patterns, it's like, for me, who's like what am I? Anxious, preoccupied.
Same with me. Yeah, we're both anxious. We're both anxious, preoccupied was one word for it. Or vacillator is also what they call it.
Yeah. But I can't be with someone who is not going to be giving me like
who's avoidant.
that. Yeah, who's avoidant. It's not going to work.
Because it makes your worst fear, because they're actually doing your worst fears.
Well, they're playing out that toxic pattern of like chasing the longing, the chase, the not getting the love, or just enough so that you come back for more, and then you hit that pain cycle, and it's literally a cycle. So breaking out of the pattern.
Explain the pain cycle.
So, for example, you have a cycle where you're with someone who might not be like an emotionally unavailable person, an avoidant person. They're gonna give you just enough to spark that dopamine, to give you that small dopamine hit. So it's just enough attention, but they're avoidant. So then as soon as they pull back, you go into like the leaning in, the longing, the chase, and then shush, shush.
There he is,
There
Sanchez.
he is. The chase is where you're running after this avoidant person, and they don't hold you. So then you hit that pain. So it's like this pain, this pain, this pain, and then they'll give you just enough attention so the pain
And
stops.
love bomb, usually a little love bomb.
Love bomb, attention, just so the pain stops, and it puts you right back in that space of, okay, you've got the dopamine hit again. It's like a drug. Like love is like a drug when it's unhealthy. That's why we have love addictions. But that's a whole nother topic. So you get that little bit of dopamine, and then once you've got that dopamine, then the whole cycle starts again. Then they pull back. Then you lean in. Your needs don't get met. You go into longing. You go into chase. You go into pain. And that's the cycle. And I think breaking out of it, which is so interesting, because it's literally what I've experienced. But from a conscious place this time. So the feelings are the same, people. If you are going through this and you're trying to break a pattern or a cycle, what is so interesting to me is that it's not like the pattern presents itself and goes, hey, here's a pattern. It's going to feel different. It's going to be easier. You're going to be able to get through it. No, it feels the same. It is the same excruciating feelings. It is the same excruciating just... the unworthiness and everything. But the difference is when you have this space of awareness, you are able to confront that pattern with and see it as a past pattern. So you see it as this thing from the past. Whoever is bringing it to you in the present, whatever person that is, you can see it as a mirror. It's a mirror for your past dynamic. So it makes it a lot easier to process it. Mentally easier. Emotionally, no, because you're still feeling it.
Yeah.
But you can get through it. It gives you like a strength, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, it's knowledge is power, right? And so when you can literally, what you're watching a car accident about to happen, right? But if you know it's about to happen, then you have the ability to hit the brakes. If you don't see it coming, you're just gonna get hit. And so knowing, okay, I'm recognizing what's happening now. I see the fire starting. I see the train is coming. Like, I'm recognizing all these things and seeing myself going right back into another situation. Am I gonna stop? Am I gonna stop, or am I going to keep on it? And it is so hard. It was, by the grace of God did I get rescued from this last situation, because there was times where I didn't. I take zero credit.
But you kept choosing a different response, and you had, can I tell you what is so important? Find the right friends, the right people, because and my other best friend, we held each other through this. It's like that's why they say when you can't stand, make sure you got friends who are actually going to hold you and carry you. Yeah. And the thing is, each time you made that different choice, so the healthier choice, it strengthens you, and then you get through it, and you're like, you've crawled through broken glass to get there. So you stand up and you're all broken and bloody, but at the end of it, you made it through, and you are stronger, and it hurts a little bit less. And the sense of empowerment that comes from it, it is like leveling up, like Jumanji level 12.
It is. And it shows you have to continue and continue. And like you said, you have to give yourself credit for those little wins, because even now I'm still beating myself up for how did I let myself get treated like that again? How did I How did I not close that door? Blah, 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 blah. But the reality is, like, I did make those small little choices that made the biggest difference in the end. Because, for example, I would make a choice like to say, I see that you're upset, A, B, and C. When you're ready to talk to me about it, I'm here to talk. The old me would have been like, oh my gosh, I think you're upset. What can I do? How can I fix this? How can I get you? Like, I would go
leaning in, chasing.
Yes, I would go straight into, I need him back right now. And I would not have stopped until I got the response. This time, the moment you go silent, I'm going to say, hey, when you're ready to treat me correctly, come correct, and then we'll talk. But I'm not going to keep chasing. I'm not going to keep begging for someone who is not going to treat me right. Now, should I even have given an opportunity to say at all to someone who wasn't treating me right? Maybe not. But you know what? That, like you said, I do deserve to give myself a credit, and you should too. You should give yourself credit for those little steps, because those little steps make a huge difference. It's one little step, one little step, one little step, and then all of a sudden you're at the top of the castle, right?
But also, God gives you the same lesson until you master it. So I feel like this time you've mastered it.
Yes!
Done!
Yes! And he really does. Like, it is wild. Like, when I saw this lesson coming to me, I literally said, it's happening again. And it was like, it was very wild. Like, the similarities were uncanny, but it's exactly like you said, like, show me your friends, I will show you your future. Because there was one particular day where I had Kate and 3 other girlfriends be like, this is a no from me. This is a no. And maybe one girl saying it, I would have been like, well, it's just her opinion, you know? But 4 people telling you, this is a no. I'm not gonna beat around the bush. This is a no from me. You can't deny that. You cannot, you can in your heart, and you don't wanna hear it, and it sucks to hear, but it's like going to the doctor. You know, you got 4 people telling you have cancer, you probably have cancer, you know? Like, you have to listen. There's a certain point where you just can't keep lying to yourself anymore. And if you don't have the right people that are gonna be honest with you in your life, if you have people that you know are just gonna tell you what you wanna hear, you're gonna keep ending up back in the same. No, they're not your people. Yeah, they're not your people. They're not your people.
Nothing changes if nothing changes.
Yes.
And if you stay with people who want you to stay the same, it's only, and you don't have to blame them, but you know, that's because the version of you that is disempowered is a version that they can control, that they can feel safe around.
Yeah.
Like, if they can't be with the authentic powerhouse that you are and what you bring, if that makes them uncomfortable, then those aren't your people. Let go with love.
Let go with love. So we believe in you. If you have to break a cycle, if you are working on breaking a pattern, we believe in you. You can do it. Do the research. Figure out what come ask us. Slide into the DMs. That's what we're here for. But look up what your attachment style is, because it's so freeing and so empowering. See how evil he is? Look at him.
Come here. Come here, it's Mom.
Would you want that in your house? Just saying.
Okay.
I'm never getting a chihuahua. Anyways.
So sorry for interrupting.
Hilarious. Well, now they know. I'm not crazy. I'm not a dog hater. I love dogs. I don't know that you count. Just kidding. Anyways, comment below if you have any questions, and go look up we'll link again the attachment style quiz. Figure out what it is. Knowledge is power. We love you. Thank you for listening or watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye.
Ciao.